This is a Gen Z Future Fortunes podcast, hosted by Jordan Johnson. This podcast will help you in the following areas: money management skills, teaching you to control your debt, building wealth building strategies, entrepreneurship, and most importantly, to show you how you can do this yourself. So tune in and turn up.
My high school years were consumed by football practice, workouts, and training. From 2010 to 2012, I attended over 50 college camps across the country. I've been to schools such as USC, UCLA, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio State, Penn State, and more. And about 90% of these camps, my dad stood on the sideline and coached me up and watched me perform.
I agree with you there. I worked at McDonald's for about 2 years, bro, and I understand how important customer service is. Like, I just prided myself on making people feel good. I know you're just coming to McDonald's, you're probably spending, what, $20 on average, maybe less than that, $15, $20 for some quick food, just to put food in your stomach. But I understand that I can change the trajectory of your day just by what I tell you, what I say to you, how I serve you, what kind of customer service I offer to you. So working at McDonald's, that just taught me a whole lot about how I treat people, customer service in general. And I feel like the experiences that I learned in those 2 years working for fast food, it's just, I'm going to use those for the rest of my life, really.
Absolutely, that's definitely big. Yeah, like I learned like customer service was big for me when I worked in the hospitality industry. I started out as a bellman at 17. So I worked bellman, doorman, did some valet. Yes sir, no sir. I even say yes sir to a kid. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's almost trained to me now. Even when I'll be in the grocery store. Yes sir, no sir. Like, I don't. It's part of what it's not even a respect thing. It's literally how I speak now. It's just like I cut just from working in that industry. Like, it's just second nature now. I like that. Like, you can control that at all times. You can't control if something goes wrong or a pipe buzz, or you can't. But you can control smiling and giving the person your best effort. You being happy at your workplace, But also, it's important to give someone a place that isn't miserable to walk into, or that they're not so worried that they can't pay their bills because they're coming in working these long hours and making no money. And it's got to be a healthy balance. It got to be a good situation. And I would rather pay more for the best people than to have more of the worst people. You know what I'm saying? So.
And being something I'm learning now, being an employee, I can't necessarily say that I like working where I do, but like I was saying earlier, it's just preparing me for where I want to be. But working here, it's just told me that I lost my train of thought. But working where I do, it's just told me that you got to be willing to do the stuff that nobody wants to do. You got to, like you said, like you were saying, you want to build an environment that's positive for people to be in. So you gotta have a great attitude. I think it's a saying that goes, life is like 25%. Obviously the numbers aren't spot on, it's relative, but life is about 25% what happens to you and 75% how you react to it. So that's something I'm big on. I try not to let my emotions get the best of me. I try to really control my mind, control my thoughts. I try not to let things, you shouldn't let things really affect how you feeling too much, because if you do, that means you easily influence. And I feel like it's not good to be easily influenced. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, so I have a quote that I always say, like, if it's not gonna matter in 5 or 10 years, I'm not gonna make it more of a deal than what it is. There's so many times that people feel disrespected or like just get upset about things that aren't gonna matter tomorrow. Like, I'm not even about to get angry about that. You can just walk away. Like, I will walk away from you. I will look you in your face and stop talking to you. Whatever the situation is, because I'm not going to allow myself to get out of character over something that's not going to matter in 5 to 10 years. Now, however, everything in life isn't just a momentary issue. Some things will. The decision you make today, in 5 to 10 years, you'll either be here or there. Well, that's something to get emotional about. It's something to think about. It's something to process. But it's like, a lot of stuff is just so small, and people get so caught up on it and make life-changing decisions over temporary issues. And you just gotta be strong-willed and just understand that, like, however bad it is today, like, if you just keep pushing, tomorrow can get better. Even if it get worse, the next after that can get better. So that's how I kind of think about things, and I just try to stay positive. I give good energy. I don't do people wrong because I don't want people to do me wrong. Even if I got an opportunity to do somebody wrong, I'm not gonna do them wrong. It's like you gotta just, because it's not even about today's situation. It's like you might get done dirty. You might get over on people over $10 for years. Just a $10 get over on people, and then somebody might get over you for $1 million. It's just all payback for what you've been doing to people. You know, it's like I just live right. I don't do nobody wrong. So
Something that I'm big on myself. I definitely believe that you have to be selective with your energy. You gotta pick and choose what you choose to expand your energy on. Like, you can't just give everything, and everything isn't important. Like you said, everything doesn't require your energy. You can't let everything make you mad. You can't let everything make you upset.
and you can't let everybody in your circle. You can't let everybody know what you're thinking, and you gotta pick up on when someone shows you who they are. You gotta really realize who they are. You know what I'm saying? People always talk about how real my friend is and how real this is. But then we live in a world where people are fake and people snitch and do, like, it's like we talk about everybody's real, but it's like somebody gotta be fake. Like, everybody can't have all real friends. Like, all of us in this room can't, all of my friends and all of your friends, all of his friends, we can't all have real friends. Somebody in that group is fake. So it's like, which one is it? We're gonna now start pointing them out. Now start thinking about your friend group and thinking about which people are really genuinely real people and have your best interests at heart, and other people that if something bad happened to you, they really wouldn't care. They'll be sad that something bad happened to a person, but they don't really care. Like, they don't care if you succeed in life. They'll be happy with you being average like them. You know, it's like, and other people, it's like they're disappointed in you when they see you average. That's how you can tell the difference, or that's just a situation. But it's like, yeah, you just gotta be. You gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? Like, even me and my dad were talking about it earlier. It's like people get caught up on friendships and things like that. I've been knowing this person 5, 10, 15 years. We were in took baths together at 3. Who cares? Y'all just live near each other. Your parents decided to buy a house in the same neighborhood. What does that have to do with anything? That don't mean you got the same interests. That don't mean you have the same passions. That doesn't mean you want to go do something. Like, what? You know, but that doesn't mean because you have different interests you can't be friends with someone. It's just you might have to keep them at a further distance. You just got to control yourself, because it's like that quote where they say, like, birds that flock together, like, if you hang around people that are not getting money, it's going to be extremely hard to get money. Even to the fact of, like, people get jealous when someone talks about getting money. To me, I never feel like, oh, they're boasting or bragging. No, that's what you're supposed to. This is what money talk sounds like. Like, this is the money conversation. Like, people get like, oh, they're trying to brag about they just closed the deal and they made this amount of money. Why they gotta brag about it? They ain't have to tell. They're talking to you because they're talking about business. They may see business aspirations in you. They might want to have a business conversation. They don't want to just talk about girls, cars, and parties. You know what I'm saying? Or guys, cars, and parties. You know, they don't want to do that. So it's like you gotta just be careful. Like, people are strange. Like, you gotta be careful.
I feel as though you definitely have to vet, like, who you spend the most time with, because if you're spending a lot of time with people that aren't going to get you to where you're trying to go, then I feel like you really need to reevaluate who you're hanging out with. Like you were saying,
Or at least understand why they're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm hanging with somebody that doesn't have the same passion as me, but it's like I'm the business person, but this person does everything. He will, like, say I'm in a restaurant and I own a restaurant and my best friend works with me. He might not be a chef, but what if he can fix anything in a building? Like, we don't have to be the same. They just have to have a passion. They just have to have, you know, the difference between a friend that has a passion and doesn't. You know the difference between a friend that works hard and that doesn't. You know the friends that are lazy, you know the friends that aren't. It's like, you know the friends that have money and you know the friends that don't. It's like it's that clear. Like, and people don't want to be honest and admit and say the hard facts, but it's like sometimes you gotta be tough. Otherwise, you'll get caught stagnant, or you'll look up and 5 years will go by and you'll be doing the same thing you were doing before. You'll be average. You'll be poor. You'll be broke. You'll be living paycheck to paycheck, and you'll be hating on somebody that's doing better for themselves.
Yeah. Like you were saying, you don't want to necessarily be in a circle of people that always feel like you're bragging when you're talking about your wins. It was this post on Instagram where I think I heard a quote somewhere. I think it went like, find friends so that your wins don't sound like bragging. And that rang true to me because it's like you don't want to hang around people. Because me personally, my everyday conversation is going to include some type of business mind or business talk or like investment talk. Because I like thought-provoking things. Like I'm a very curious person. I like learning. I like reading. So my general conversation, I'm not going to be talking about a lot of gossip. I don't gossip. I'm not going to be sitting around talking about other people with you. I'm trying to talk about things that's going to get us to the next level, that's going to propel us to the life that we want to live, like the life of prosperity, the life of wealth that we chasing. So I want to get around people that when I'm talking about that, I feel comfortable talking around that. I mean, talking about that to you, I don't want to have to talk to you about girls or gossip all day because that's not stimulating my mind. So I like getting around people where I can have conversations like this and actually like get something from it, actually offer value and receive value from the person instead of just making small talk and just wasting time.
Definitely. And you can tell, like I used to sometimes think like I'm having a conversation with a person, and I'm like literally, no offense to this person, but they don't even have the capability to understand what I'm talking about. We're not even in the same book. And you know, they always say like, no person's better than the other person. Yeah, you might not be better than this person, but you are way smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just way more intelligent. You understand more. And it's like, surround yourself by people that at least are intelligent, or y'all don't all have to be real estate agents. You don't all have to be actors, or, you know, you don't all have to be the same thing, but it's like, as long as y'all are just working on something, and if everybody's on their own page and not trying to compete with each other and just living their life, but we're all motivating each other to do more and get more, you're in a great situation.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of like altering your circle and like picking and choosing who you give your energy to, what are some tips you would give to young people that, like young ambitious people, because I'm sure you know, being young and ambitious, like there aren't that many people that you can associate yourself with, especially at such a young age.
Follow us on Equity Movement 247 on all the social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Volunteer to work in their office, volunteer to help them with their events. You know, learn and pick up on as much as you can, because it's like they have like knowledge that you can't learn in school. You can't read in the textbook, you know. It's like, so it's like that's the first thing I would do. And then just with your friends, it's like sometimes you can talk, like at a young age, sometimes you can talk a person in the business, like being business aware, because some people are just at a young age where they're like, they haven't been even introduced to business. So it's like, maybe I have a business mind, but you, like, my parents work 9 to 5s, and the harder you work, the better your life is. And that is, I personally feel like that's the worst advice we give anybody ever, because hard work does not pay anything, ever. Like, you should work hard, but it's like the hard work that doesn't mean you're gonna get paid. Like that is not true.
You can work hard towards the wrong things.
What? You can work hard for somebody that is getting paid. That's what you don't realize. You will work hard, and somebody is at home getting paid. Like that's. But the thing is, it's about in life learning how to be that person who's maybe working hard and getting paid well, or, you know, it's just. I mean that.
Now the conversation going real good though.
For real though. It's just
to
like,
piggyback off of what you were saying, I feel like you got to focus on yourself as a person first. If you know that you want certain things out of life, if you know that you don't want to settle, I feel like that's just going to take you far right there. Like just knowing that you want a certain type of lifestyle for yourself, you're automatically going to pursue certain types of people, certain types of things, certain types of experiences. And
I mean, I can even tap in on that, like, cause I feel like one of the biggest mistakes I made in business, where I've learned from it, so it wasn't a waste, but the biggest mistake I did was I tried to come up with a plan, like as if I was the boss and I was bringing people under me and working with them. It was in music, and I was managing 4 artists, and I was helping them, and I was putting together events. I put together an entire mixtape for them. I was paying for studio time. I was buying beats. I planned a release party. Out of the 4 artists, 3 of them show up. 1 didn't even come. Like, they never posted it. It was like, well, that's your tape. It's not my tape. I'm cussing like, hey, I don't even do music. What do you mean it's not my... Well, this is for you, but it's like, I was making a mistake trying to invest in other people to get to where I wanted to be, where I should have got where I wanted to be, and then I can go send a ladder down and help other people up. But like, it's hard to make it dependent on other people, unless, like, y'all gotta be on the same page, in the same book, flipping together. You know what I'm saying? It can't be like, if you're gonna depend on other people, because it's like, I would just recommend getting yourself together, getting yourself in a, like, because if you're financially stable, you can help so many more people than if you're just broke with some good ideas. Like, it's just facts. Like, you can only do so much. So
For sure.
that's what I was saying.
Do you believe that money can buy happiness?
No question.
That's a good segue.
No question. Yes, money can buy happiness. The thing is, you just have to. You can't be like. Let me. That was premature, because they could definitely buy my happiness. But this is the thing. I'm personally happy with myself. So having more money would only make me happier with myself. If I had issues with my own life, money isn't gonna fix my issues, but it can buy my happiness, because the only thing that makes me upset is when I'm broke. That's the only thing I'm upset about. When I don't have the money I should have, when it's less, when bills are stacking, like, that's the only thing that makes me upset. So it's like, yeah, if I woke up tomorrow and had $5 million in my account, I don't think I would be angry for months, years. I don't know. I wouldn't have any issues. I would be perfectly fine. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, other people, if you're not truly happy with yourself, having some money or having more things aren't going to make you happy. But when I wake up today, I was happy this morning. So I didn't need the money to be happy. I mean, I'm not broke, but I'm just saying I didn't need that money. But I will take it if somebody was dropping, Lord, if you're dropping $5 million. I seen they dropped $500 million into a married couple's account, and they called the police and said they didn't know what to do with it. They didn't touch it. Let them drop $500 million in my account. I give all y'all some. We will be business. I'm just saying, we will be doing a lot of things, you know.
I forgot. What was the last question I asked you just now? I'm trying to think of questions as you're talking so I can just keep the conversation going, but I forgot what I was about to say. What did I just ask you?
You asked me about happiness.
Yeah, just money buy
Money
happiness.
by happiness?
Yeah, I said yes. What do you think, since you I know you're not supposed to be here, but you...
Well, happiness is defined as what happens to you determines happiness. That's why it's happened. It has happened to me, so that creates my happiness. And what you really look for is a certain level of joy that you obtain in your life. That means you're not controlled by events, because you can be happy. I can be unhappy if the Browns lose, right? Or I can be happy if, tomorrow the sun is shining. I can be unhappy if it's raining. Not totally unhappy, but just not happy. And that's what the difference is. It's based on what happens to you. And sometimes, or what happens around you, or what happens in your life that we don't have control. A lot of people, I wasn't happy about COVID and being shut down and seeing people get sick, die, et cetera, So when you look at it from that perspective, it's really on the individual. It's almost like success. Success is determined by individual. Some people might want time and money. Some people want to work, like the owner of the Miami Dolphins, and he owned the Tampa Blue Rays. Well, he ran waste management, and he worked 16 hours. He didn't see his kids at all growing up. Never saw them. When he left, they were asleep. When he came home, they were asleep. So he worked 16 hours. He didn't see his kids for 20 years. He just saw them maybe at graduations. But he was a multi-millionaire, maybe close to $1 billion, etc. But now he missed that because he had money and success, but he had no time. So now you can get in balance because you got all these great things going for you, but now you don't have the time to really enjoy the quality time that, you know, nobody's going to be on their deathbed and their last words like, wow, I wish I had closed a few more deals, or I wish I had stayed at work longer. They not saying that. They're saying, why not spend time with my family and friends and the people who meant the most in my life? So it's individually determined is what it boils down to.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You gotta start with you, man. You can't expect anybody or anything, no outside sources to make you happy, because I feel like happiness is a choice. Like you were saying, that everything is about what happens to you. You have a choice about how you want to react to it. Like you said, COVID, obviously it wasn't the best times for everybody. People were dying, a lot of people getting sick. But I feel as though when the pandemic came and everything was getting shut down, I feel like 2020 was one of my best years ever, because it gave me a lot of time to reflect. It gave me a lot of time to myself. It gave me a lot of time to question things. It gave me a lot of time to really get a feel for, okay, everybody's in the house right now. Nobody's doing anything. How can I get ahead right now? Everybody's sitting in the house. Nobody's going anywhere. What can I do to put myself in a better position than I was last year? So going into the pandemic, going into the lockdown, I just did a lot of self-development, I would say. I spent a lot of time with myself, and I feel like that's just made me more confident, more happy as a person. I feel as though I can be happy no matter what circumstances come my way. Obviously, it's easier said than done. It definitely takes some work and it takes some practice, but I feel like it's overall worth it to control your emotions, control how you react to certain situations, because at the end of the day, when it's something that's out of your control, stressing about it only makes things worse. When you're stressing about something that you can't control, you're literally adding compound stress on top of yourself.
I don't even stress about nothing that I'm not even about to get mad at all. I think a huge thing in life is finding what you need to cope with, like, too much stress or really bad negative events. Like when I used to get extremely angry, I still do it now. When I get extremely angry, I watch a kids movie. Because how long can you sit here real angry and watch this kids movie? That just works for me. It might not work for you. You might think this kids movie is dumb because you're angry. You know what I'm saying? With me,
but I feel like that goes back to how you think about things.
Yeah.
If you're sitting there watching a kids movie, if you're still thinking about how mad you are, if you're thinking about, wow, this movie's dumb, if you're spending time like dwelling on situations that made you mad, then you're just
not even ready.
Going down that
spiral. Your mind not even ready to get back to. You're not even ready to get back to positivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but it works for me. Like, if people can try it, it's like I will watch a kid's movie after being really upset, and it's 20 minutes in, I'm no longer mad. I watch the rest of the movie, and I'm probably happy at the end, as long as it's not a sad movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy at the end. So it's like, that just works for me, and I mean, I've been doing it for 6 or 7 or 8 years. I mean, I had the worst argument with a college roommate, and went and watched the movie and came back downstairs and apologized, and we had dinner. It was like, everything was fine after that, but it was just like, you gotta have something that you can cope with issues and whatever people do. I mean, as long as it's not something super negative, or, you know, just find something that works for you, and that's probably.
What would you say your biggest fear in life is?
I think my biggest fear is not being successful. Like, I feel like I've been given so many tools. I feel like I have extreme knowledge. I'm talking about the culinary today, but I have about 50 businesses that I could just go off the top of these different things, and it's just so many things that I have that's like, to fail, it's like I just would look at myself like a bust. Like, so to not be successful, especially in the world, it's like there's so many distractions. Like, there's so many opportunities to do something stupid or something wrong. Like, you just staying focused, and like, I know I have to be successful. I have no other choice. Like, I even feel like I can't make the same mistakes other people make. Like, your parents didn't invest the same money that my parents did into my school. I can't even do nothing that's gonna land me in jail. That just, like, I can't even afford that. Like, you know, or nothing. Like, I gotta be sharper. Now, that might just be pressure I put on myself, but or they put on me. You know, just either one. You know, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I just can't. Being successful is very, very important to me. And like you said, it has different levels. Like, if my culinary ideas go the way I want them to, I will be a multi-millionaire. But I also could see myself being successful, making $200,000 and having a family and coaching high school football and just being happy like that. I could see both, you know what I'm saying? But then that's totally different money, but it's like I might have totally different expenses. I might have totally different, I might make more as a millionaire, but then I might have 4 houses and an island, who knows? I gotta think about stuff like that. So it's like, that's what it is.
No, I definitely agree with you. I would say that my biggest fear is definitely something along the lines of what you just said, but to word it differently, my biggest fear is I don't want to have any regrets in life. Like when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want to think about all the things that I could have done. I don't want to think about all the things that I left.
House Notes TV, where we will be bringing you information about the home buyer experience, as well as resources to help you through it.
We hope you enjoyed this podcast. This was produced by Equity Movement 247 to reach this incredible group of young individuals. Guess what, Gen Z? You're up next. So follow us at Gen Z Future Fortunes at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We want to hear from you.